morning and welcome to Divine Service for Wimbledon Spiritualist Church. I'm very pleased to welcome a good friend to Wimbledon, Bill Hughes. So thank you, Bill, for joining us this morning and working as our medium. We're going to have a lovely morning. I give my apologies from Ray. He's not well. He's got a problem with toothache, so please send him some healing. But it's wonderful to be back. As you see, I'm back at home this morning as Ray's not with me. Not sure about the technology by myself at Wimbledon, but next week we definitely will be broadcasting from Wimbledon Church. So as I say, once again, welcome. And we're going to start our service with our opening invocation. Eternal and everlasting Spirit of the universe, we would reverently take up the duties of life. We would pursue our way along the path which leads through the busy haunts of men, to take by the hand those who have struggled, who are yearning, who are weeping and frightened. We would give them the light which has come to us through the ministrations of loving spirits. We would whisper to them words of cheer and encouragement, and give them a glimpse of the spiritual heights of the life beautiful. We would lead men to a better understanding of the great forces of life and of the wonderful opportunities that await the spirit in the life hereafter. O Divine Spirit, give us a true appreciation of the nobility and grandeur of struggling onwards and upwards and forward. May Spirit, loved ones, help us in every effort to improve ourselves and encourage us in our endeavours to uplift our fellow men and make their lives sweeter and brighter. Amen. So just going to take a sip of drink. Excuse me. So I would welcome all of those that have been joining our services on a regular basis. Our usual members at church, we call us Spirit Church family. And for those that have perhaps just found us by accident for the first time, or those that have been joining us around the world with a virtual service. So welcome very much. Okay. Now I have a short reading that I would like to read to you before I go on to the healing moments. So if you just give me one moment. And this is actually from an American book we have called the NZAC Spiritualist Manual. And it's a reading entitled, What is Spiritualism? Spiritualism is an outpouring of spirit upon humanity, a divine revelation of the spheres of light. It is the highest message of truth which we have as yet grown to grasp, and one whose depth, beauty and mighty significance will still imperfectly realise. How little as yet we know of true spiritualism, how far we are from mastering its wonderful philosophy. It cannot be contained between the covers of any book or outlined fully in any written creed. Spiritualism is the broad educator, the great redeemer, the emancipator, which releases human souls from the bondage of superstition and ignorance, lifts the clouds of error that has so long enshrouded the world, and illuminates the darkness of the world's materiality. It has given freedom to slaves and broken the shackles of mental bondage. It has introduced more enlightened methods of healing and was a chief factor in the largest emancipation of women. Through the gateway-inspired mediumship, it has breathed forth poesy and melody. It has stimulated science and enriched philosophy. It has broadened the conceptions of men and liberalised beliefs and creeds. It is the tender nurse in sorrow, the kind physician for every need, physical or spiritual, the universal comforter. It has taken away the sting of death and left to it the grave no victory. It has abundantly proved that there is no death, that there is a world of spirit, and we are its denizens here and now. Hence there can be no separation between spirit and spirit under any circumstances, clothed, unclothed with clay. It is only physical sight that suffers loss, and gradually our eyes are being cleansed from earthly dust to discern spiritual things, and our mortal ears unstopped to catch higher vibrations the mundane atmosphere conveys. The intuitive spirit receives supernatural messages from centres of inspiration in the upper realms, and the grandeur revelations will be vouched for as we grow ready to receive them. May greater receptivity to ours, and to gain more and more of truth, and to live the truth we know. May we not be content to merely believe in spirit communication. Let us live our spiritualism with fidelity, fearless of the unenlightened opinions of men. Let our love truly and selfishly. May our charity, even for those who wrong us, be strong and embracing. Let our forgiveness be perfect and unexulting, our patience, serenity and godlike. May we ever increase in all our spiritual knowledge. May we know by rich experience the potentiality of spirit, and learn while yet embodied what it is to be free, masterful spirit, capable even now of every noble conquest and achievement. So some words of thought for us with that. Sorry, my voice is a bit croaky. I think you're going to have to send me some healing thoughts on the voice. Okay, excuse me. So before we go into our healing moments, excuse me, as it's the weekend celebrating the NHS, then I would like us to focus on all of those staff that are in the NHS. I know we showed our appreciation by the clapping on the Thursday evening, and I know this will happen later on this afternoon again for people to appreciate the NHS's birthday. But if we think of all of those that have kept our hospitals open, our clinics, our doctors, nurses, the porters, the cleaners, the ambulance men, all of those in emergency services, as we are so grateful that we have an NHS that is still alive, still working. There are many countries around the world that are almost coming to its knees with the pandemic, and their services or their medical staff are really struggling. So if we can just think of the NHS in our healing thoughts in a moment, and if we can also send healing to the family of Andrew. We asked for healing last week for Andrew and his family. Andrew passed to the spirit world on the Monday. So I'd like to ask for his family, Maggie and her sister, and the rest of the family in that transition, and know that he was a very spiritual man, Andrew, and that he will have been met by his family, as we know that. But it doesn't take away the pain of that physical loss when we lose a parent. Having lost my father, or not lost him, I know where he went when he transited to the spirit world in February of this year. So that's still, quite fresh for me. So if we can think of Andrew and his family, and if we can also think of those people that we know that are not well at this time, those that perhaps, recovering from operations, those that are still in isolation because of their health, those that are just not feeling great physically, but also those that are mentally having difficulty. We've now, over this 100 days of lockdown, those that have found loneliness to be one of the cruelest things. And we can feel lonely whether we're by ourselves or people around us. That being in this lockdown has made it very difficult for many people. And that's why we hope that this actually gives comfort for those that are able to join us at this time and be part of our church family. So if we can think also of Mother Earth and the animal kingdom as we go into a couple of minutes of healing. So if you can just close your eyes, just imagine yourself in a wonderful blue light for the NHS and for the colour of healing energy. And imagine healing angels around. Imagine those angels are completely encircling you as we ask our angels, and we just have a few moments of silence while we just think of those that are in need at this time. Thank our healing angels for their work. We know that they will go out to all areas that are in need at this time, and for the healing to be there. We will have our own meditation at the end of the service for ourselves, but this is that time where we think of others around us and think of those that we know that are by their self. And let's hope that we continue when lockdown, ceases, that we think of those that are still by their self. It gives us an appreciation of those that are permanently at home because of illness, physical frailty, incarceration, and we have more empathy now than ever, because it's only the pandemic that has stopped most of us from going out. We can begin to go out. Ray and I went out on Saturday to a little cafe near our home, and we were the first people through the door to sit down and be back at these tables. And I do think of people like our friend, the cafe owner, Haydar, and his wife, Justina, because of all the little shopkeepers, all the little cafe owners, those that have been unable to open their door, and the stresses, mental stresses, of not being able to have their businesses working the way that they would wish to. So let us hope that people are careful and considerate of others now that lockdown is being lessened and that people are able to go out. It's frightening. I feel as I've been a hermit for the last 3 months, 4 months, and there is that reluctance to go out 50-50. I could just stay in forever and never want to put my head out the door again. And the other part of me thinks if I don't go out, if I don't work through that fear of going out, then it will be so much harder. And that we have to take our strength and our belief and know that we have to be careful, but we need to begin to, no longer be a hermit, but to be back out there in the world. Because I don't know if many of you, when I've turned the pages of the calendar and feel as though this year was almost non-existent, that the springtime, started, and then we were locked down. Going to church recently, getting Hackbridge ready to see how many chairs we could put in place. I was aware that we had a lovely arrangement of daffodils, artificial daffodils on the altar, and I thought that just shows that we were trapped in time, and that I need to change the flowers when we do eventually open Hackbridge. But because of the much smaller space, at this moment, we're just going to see how Wimbledon goes forward next week. And that's why we've asked to control the numbers by just getting people to get a ticket. They can do this online, but it's so that we're actually able to control the numbers and have a safe environment. And once we've been open for a few weeks, we will just see how that goes. But we will be continuing our live stream. We will be working duality. Ashley will be our first medium physically, and he'll be working with the congregation and those online. So this is our last service where we're just only online, and I say only, but I don't mean it in that respect, because it has been absolutely fantastic to reach so many people and to keep everyone going by having a church service. There was a lovely poem I read early into lockdown by Irene at Hackbridge, where she said, as a family we may not be together, but we are together when we have the service and we know that others are sharing that service with us at this time. So know that you are part of a much wider church family, and that together we have gone through this. I never expected in the beginning that we would go through over 100 days. It's quite incredible that we have managed to achieve this, and that we haven't had too much illness around us. So I know many of you have known people that have been unwell, and tragically some that have actually passed to the spirit world. But it's time to be able to move forward, and it's time to be able to take up the work of being a light worker and to go forward in that way. And this weekend, is the American Weekend of Independence, and what America stands for. This isn't a platform for me to be political, but I do know that America needs a great deal of prayer because of the spikes in the cases, the illnesses, the tragedy of it all. So it needs a lot of healing at this time, as do other countries in the world that are facing similar spikes. So we have to be very aware of that as we start to work through our own lessening of work down. Now I'd like to be able to say a few hellos to people as well. So with some of the names that are coming, and I can say hello to June, who's saying that we have an achievement and that grateful for our service. Do appreciate you all coming and saying hello. And for those of you that I don't know personally, where you're coming from, if you're calling from abroad, and it's lovely to know exactly how far afield we're actually going. So it's always nice to do that. And Joe Clark, and Joe is asking for healing for a dear friend who's currently in hospital, and the dear wife and family. So if you can read that at the bottom. So we send healing thoughts, those of you that are healers, that work in healing circles and link into bigger healing groups, will take any note of healing. And Edna is also asking for her cat Bola. And I know that Edna, I'm not sure if she's in the country, in the UK at the moment, but did come to Wimbledon when she was in the UK. So Edna, you'll have to say where you are, if you're in the UK again or if you're abroad. But we will ask for healing for your cat. As I say, as soon as your name's appeared, I'm sure that people have already done so. But it's great to have you all here again. So if anyone wants to just, say a quick hello, then, I'll try to say hello back. And Tracy Jones, and she's sending healing thoughts to my rate. So thank you very much, Tracy. And we will be shortly moving on to the next part of our service. There's Jana. So good morning, Jana. And before I put you onto to Bill, and I say hello to Babs as well. Babs manages to listen by telephone in June so that she can hear the service. So that's wonderful, all this time that June has been allowing this to happen. And also Rachel, say hello to Rachel. I don't know if I know you or not, Rachel, but welcome very much to the service. And if we can still, remember that though we're physically not in the same room as Bill, that sending the love to Bill while he's working, and excuse me, and answering with enthusiasm. We may not be able to physically talk to Bill, but in your answering, then you are able to send that energy. Marion is asking for her mum Cynthia, and Marion's mum Cynthia is 93 and is in frail health. So if we can send out Cynthia some healing and Marion some healing and family, so that's wonderful. So those of you in need and those of you that are healers, keep on looking for any healing. Angela is sending healing, so that's wonderful. But as I say, send your love in how you reply with your short texts. And these texts, let us know that we're on track. Let us know how we're narrowing down. But as I say, Send that love and energy as I hand you over now to Bill, who will demonstrate his gift of clairvoyance, of his mediumship as a spiritualist medium. So it's wonderful to have you, Bill, and over to you for the next part of the service, Bill. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Jackie. Good morning, everybody. How are you all doing? Thank you for having me on board once again, Jackie and Ray. I'm very privileged. Sorry, Richard. Okay, sorry. Okay, I'm very privileged and honoured to serve Wimbledon one more time. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for having me on board, and welcome everybody who's on board with us this morning. I think we've got to do a few hellos as well, Richard, haven't we, this morning? Okay. That's okay. No worries. That's not a problem at all. Spirit work in the most wonderful ways, don't they? So, as we're getting through that little bit of a technical glitch there, everybody, for those of you that don't know me, hello and welcome. My name's Bill Hughes. I'm going to be your medium demonstrator for this morning. The way that I actually work and communicate with your loved ones in the world of spirit, what I like to do is I ask them to present themselves to me visually. If they don't do that, then I will ask them to put a picture of themselves into my mind's eye. Once they've done that, I will try to give you as much evidential description and information about them and how they passed over into the world of spirit. They like to impression illnesses upon me so that they can give me a true sense and essence of them as they bring themselves not only into my room but also yours. Once I've done that, I will then go into a little bit of a message, because there's a reason why they've come to talk to you today. And then once we've done that, before I send them back up to the angels, I will ask them for a parting gift. So that's the way that I'm going to work this morning. I can see that a few of you are starting to put some hellos up there. So I can see that Edna's on board this morning. So good morning, Edna. Hello and welcome. Hello, Tina. Thank you very much for joining us. And Karen Goddard, good morning. How are you? Hi there, Rhiannon. Thank you for joining. And Yvette Wilmer. Good morning, Yvette. Hi there, Dawn Johnson. Hello, Cheryl. Thank you. Hello, Sally. Good morning, Queen Eora. How are you? Hello, Elaine. And please, folks, don't forget to like and share this page, please. The more people that we can reach out to, the bigger Spiritual Productions grows. Hello, Alison. Thank you for joining us this morning. I can see Suzanne's with us. You're looking forward to it. So am I, Suzanne. Hello, Ruth. Thank you for joining. Good morning, Jana. Not such a nice morning out there today, folks, is it? Not as nice as it has been over the last couple of weeks. Richard's whispering in my ear, I've got blue skies. Not where I am, Richard. Hello, Norma. Thank you for your lovely message. Good morning, Helen. Hi there, Emma. Hello, Val. How are you? Hello, Christine. Good morning, Tracy. How are you? Hello, Julian. Kingston Hospital. So you must be one of our NHS workers. Thank you very much. We're very blessed to have you on board. Hello, Karen. And Danielle. Thank you for liking and sharing, Dawn. Thank you. I know we will be. Right, so I'm just being whispered in my ear that I'd love to say hello to everybody, but I understand there's lots of you on board this morning. So I think we should try and move on with the service. So if that's okay with you, Richard, I'll start working with my first link. Okay. So I was very aware, as Jackie was opening up this morning's service, that I had a gentleman who was communicating with me. And this gentleman, as he started to communicate with me, he gave me the understanding that he is somebody's dad who I need to deliver a message to today. What he was doing with me was he was taking me up to the north of England. So he was taking me on a journey, and as he was taking me on this journey, he was making reference to Liverpool, but he's also taken me to Blackpool now as well. And I was actually conscious of Blackpool because I was talking about that this morning at breakfast. But I do know his dad, so I'm just going to get him to start coming forward, just so that I can give you a description of this gentleman. But as he's starting to blend his energy with me, I am very aware that the tips of my fingers, the sensations in the tips of my fingers are all tingly. So I don't know if this is reference to the gentleman that I'm now going to start to work with, or if the recipient that can take this message understands having tingly tips of their fingers at this present moment in time. Okay, as he starts to step forward as well, he does actually take me up to my chest area, so he makes me very aware that there were problems with his heart, okay, because he's making reference to his heart. So I know that before he passed over into the spirit world, there would have been an awful lot of ongoings, I want to say, and I want to also now, as I'm saying that, and he's blending more with me, I also want to say that there would have been an awful lot of tests in and around my chest area. As this gentleman starts to come close and he starts to present himself to me, I'm actually, as I'm swallowing but gasping for breath as well. So I'm just going to get him to take that off, but you would understand that this was a condition that this gentleman had before he passed over into spirit. Whilst he was here on the earth plane, okay. As he comes forward, he actually does present himself as not a very full-figured man. I want to say that he was quite small in his frame, this gentleman, and I don't want to put him particularly tall either. I want to take him up to about 5'9", 5'10", and his physique, as I say, there was meat on his bones, but he wasn't a chunky, thick-set gentleman, okay? And he draws me up to his hair as well. He still had quite a good head of hair on him before he passed over into spirit, okay? And I want to go dark with my hair with this gentleman, although I was starting to thin around this part of my head, okay? I don't know if there's anybody that can relate to this part of the message so far, Richard. Okay. Okay. Okay, so I understand there might be a couple of you that can actually relate to this information. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to try and get a little bit more so that we can narrow it down to whom it is that I need to go to. But the person that I do need to communicate with today, you must understand, please, why he's drawing me to the tips of my fingers and he's giving me this tingly sensation in my hands, okay? Because it's almost as though I need to talk about a circulatory problem. Does that make sense? And please, again, if you can just pop the your comments into the comment section on the bottom of the link there, if it relates, please, okay? So I can see that so far we've had Sue Young and Ruth Townsend that can relate to pretty much all of this information, and Sharon Holtz. Okay, so ladies, if you would just continue to listen, please, and what I'll do is I'll just get a bit more information from this gentleman so that I can narrow it down to whom it is I need to be working with. But it's also a good way for all of us to actually receive message from spirit, because I've found that working this virtual way over the most recent of months, I've found, and I'm sure other mediums that are watching will probably agree with me as well, that there are messages that are coming through, not necessarily just for one person. And it seems to be that these messages are reaching several different people at the same time, which is absolutely great, because again, that's a new way for spirit to work with us. And that's something new for us as mediums to learn as well. Okay, ladies, I need to go back to this gentleman, if I may. Okay, please, would one of you understand that you are very open to spirit? Because as this gentleman's starting to come close and blend with me a lot more, he's actually placing his hand on the top of my head as I'm talking to you. So you would understand, please, that when this gentleman is around you, you would understand that this gentleman places his hand upon your head. Does that make sense, please, with any of these ladies, Richard? And I know there is about a 10-second delay, so I will be patient. Okay. Okay, Sharon, I'm being drawn towards your name as I'm looking down on the list of names that Richard's given me here. Okay, so if I can, I'm going to work with you for this present moment in time, but I will encourage all the other ladies just to listen, just in case we aren't on the correct link here. But I do feel as though I do need to work with you. Okay, my darling. So I'm going to continue with you if I may. You would also please understand, as this gentleman starts blending with me and he's giving me a little bit more about his character, I do want to say that he was a little bit of a cheeky chap, this man, okay, because he's actually putting into my mind a lot of practical jokes, okay. So I know that this gentleman would have been a practical joker when he was here on the earth plane. But saying that, you would also understand, as I've just said that to you, he said to me, but I also play practical jokes from the other side. So I'm sure that there are scenarios or there are things that you can actually relate to right now, where there have been shenanigans that have, and I want to say shenanigans, so I don't know if that was a word that he would have used, but you would understand that there are bits and bobs that are probably going on in and around the home, and I'm for some reason I'm getting keys that are being placed into my mind. So I don't know if there's a if you're looking for a set of keys that you've placed down and you've gone to an area where you thought or you believed them to be and they weren't there, but for some reason he's putting keys into my mind. So I need you to be able to take that part of the evidence, and if you don't, then I need to ask him why he's giving me the key symbolically. Okay, so if you could just pop that up in the comment section. Okay, Richard. Okay. So I'm just going to be really patient for a few seconds just to see if Sharon can relate to that part of the information. And if she can't, I need to ask him why he's giving me keys symbolically. Also, guys, if you are if you are working with me today with a loved one from the world of spirit, could you also just be conscious that when you are replying to the messages that I'm delivering, short yeses and nos just need to be elaborated a little bit more. It's just so that it helps me as a medium to be able to move on into the next part of the message. Yes is great, no's fine, but if we can actually just have a little bit more elaboration on that message, it really does help to be able to move forward with the message, and then that way we can try and get through as many people as possible today and bring as many messages as we possibly can to you all. Okay, so I'm just waiting on that validation of that message, but as I'm doing that, I'm just going to ask him what the reason for him coming and visiting today, if I may. You know what he means by the keys. That's fine, then, Sharon. I knew I had to give you some type of validation to know that I was with you, rather than the other ladies that could also associate to this link. I know that as I actually start to talk to this gentleman, he starts to whisper in my ear. I know that it's important for me to actually tell you about his resting place, because he's talking to me about his resting place, and it's my understanding that the resting place wouldn't have necessarily have been where you would have wanted it to have been, okay, but he is okay with where that final place, that final significance for him to be rested was marked. So I hope that makes sense, because he's really banging on about that, and he's telling me to make you very aware that he's very happy with where this final place. So this final place for him was chosen for him to be able to rest. And I don't necessarily want to make a reference to a referral or a cremation. I just want to be taken to a specific place where there's a memorial to me, okay, and I'm very happy about that memorial. So I hope that makes sense. And again, it'd be very interesting just to make sure that it is, if you can just validate that in the comments section below, please. And whilst you're busy doing that, I'm just going to work with him and just get a little bit more information about him, because as he does start talking to me, You have his ashes at home. Okay, fine. Would you also please understand as well, my darling, that you actually want to put these ashes into a piece of glass, and I want to actually put it into a pendant and have it worn close to my chest. Okay, and as I'm saying that, I actually want to talk about the colour red as well. So I know that I need to put these ashes into a red glass, okay, because he's making a strong reference with regards to red. And as he's saying red to me, he's actually taking me onto the link, and he's making reference with me having to pass on his love to you. Because as I work with colours, red is a very enriching, loving colour, and I know that I have to pass messages over of a loving nature when I work with that particular colour. But I do want to put some ashes into a piece of jewellery, and I do actually feel as though I want to wear that around my neck, so it's close to my chest. I want to say close to my heart. So I hope that that makes sense with you as well, my darling. Please, could you just validate as well for me? Okay, yes, that's right, for my son, Sun Red. Okay, good, God bless. Okay, also, please, my darling, I need you to be able to just understand why Dad is still talking about being the practical joker, okay? Because I feel as though this is memory links that he wants to take you. He wants to take you on a journey down memory lane. Okay, because as he's talking to me about practical jokes, okay, he's talking to me about a whoopee cushion. Okay, so I don't know if this was something that you would have played with, or you would have played practical jokes along with him with a whoopee cushion. But for some reason, he's placing that in my mindset, and I don't have to explain what we do with whoopee cushions. It's a divine service on a Sunday, but I want to place it under a cushion of a chair within the home. So I hope that you can take that part of the message as well, sweetheart. And whilst we're waiting for you just to pop that up into the comments section, I'm just going to ask him if we could have a parting gift for you before we send him back up to the angels. Okay. Right. What I've done, Richard, is... Yeah. Sorry, guys. It's me moving about, and the noise interference is my cable to my earphone. So I'm just going to position it in a slightly different area now, and hope that that doesn't make too much more disruption for you whilst you're watching. Is that better, Richard? Okay, sure. Okay. No. That's fine. Okay. All right. Okay. I'm just going to get this gift for Sharon, if I may. Okay. This gentleman's actually bringing into my mindset. He's given me 2 gin glasses. He's given me 2 gin glasses to give to you, and these gin glasses that that he's giving actually have like hand painted flowers on them. Okay, so I don't know if this is something that you've actually got in a physical sense, or if this is something that he's actually giving to you symbolically. But I'm asking him, of all of the gifts that you could give this lovely lady for joining us today, why are we giving her a gin glass? And he's giggling to me, and he's making reference to the pubs opening yesterday. So I don't know with this gentleman if he's making reference to actually he would have liked to have had the occasional tipple, okay? But I feel as though I need to give you the tipple of gin to drink for yourself from this gentleman. So his parting gift, and I need to give you a flavoured gin as well that that he's given you. And I'm just asking him to put the taste into my mouth, so that I want to give you an orange flavoured gin from this gentleman, okay? But also, could you please take note that he has pointed out on these glasses the hand-painted flowers. So I do understand that he's actually coming in and giving you lots of flowers as well before he's going back up to join the angels. So I hope that that message was evidential enough for you, and I hope that it related. And I will say God bless you, and thank you so much for working with me this morning, Sharon. God bless. Thank you. Okay. Okay. Oh no, yes, when we were kids. Okay, good. Okay. Right, let's work with this lovely lady that's starting to step forward now. Okay. Thank you, Tracy Jones and Wendy. Good morning to you. Okay, as this lady starts to present herself to me, as this lady starts to step forward now. Okay, she wasn't a particularly tall lady, and she was quite a rounded lady as well as she starts to show herself to me. She makes me aware that she was a mum. She also makes me aware that she was a grandmother. Okay, why are you doing that to me? Okay, I want to say, Spirit don't generally work with me with names, okay? And I've been asking them recently, please, can you give me some names? Please give me some names. So she's given me a name, and I need to say the name Wendy, okay? So I don't know if this name links directly with this lady, or if this name links with the recipient who's watching today. But you would understand that this lady was a mum and a grandmother. You would understand that she was very rounded. You would understand that she was around about 5'6", 5'7". You would also understand, as this lady starts to blend her energy with me, that there was discomfort within my legs. You would understand with this lady, you would understand with this lady that she had slow mobility towards the end of my life on the earth plane before I passed over into the world of spirit. Okay, you would understand that information, please. Wendy, Lindsay, I can see you saying, oh my God, is it mum? Let me get you some more information, my darling, just to make sure. Okay, all right, you would understand why she's making the reference to her legs. You would understand why she's restricting her mobility. You would also understand, please, as well, why she's showing me why she's showing me the colour blue. She's showing me the colour blue. Showing me the colour blue on her upper half of her body. She's showing me navy blue and she's showing me light blue. So I know she would have liked to have had navy and light blue cardigans, especially that this lady would have worn. If they weren't cardigans, then it would have been a jacket. But that's the way that she's placing it into my mindset right now. Wendy, yes, had bad legs. Okay, Wendy. Can you please relate to the other information that she's starting to bring forward for me, please, with regards to the cardigans or the jackets being a blue colour? I want to put blue on this lady, and if blue is not significant around her, I'm saying to her, why are you showing me blue? Okay, and blue, when I work spiritually, blue is a healing colour for me. So I would understand that this lady had a natural ability to actually have that healing ability about her. And I don't just necessarily mean a spiritual healing with regards to the use of my hands, okay? But what I want to say with this lady was that I would actually be able to use my mind. So I understand with what it is that she's trying to say to me right now is that she would have been a very good listener, this lady, okay? And there would have been several different people, okay? And loved her card is great, okay? I'm going to continue working with you then, Wendy, okay? Because she's given me your name, which is fantastic. So thank you very much, Spirit. God bless you. Okay, you would also please understand that she's making reference to actually, I want to say in the nicest of ways, that people would have offloaded verbally to her, because she was the type of person that she makes me understand as she starts to come closer now. She was the type of person who wasn't particularly very judgmental. She was very, very, for a lady of her era, for a lady of her generation, okay, there were no preconceived ideas around this lady. I don't know why she's talking about this to me at this present moment in time, so I know this has got to be something that's significant with what's going on around you in the present, okay? I'll get a little bit more of that information very shortly, but I just want to get a little bit more of the essence of Mum as she starts to blend for you, okay? But you would understand that lots of people, and she's talking to, she's not making reference to family. She's talking about lots of people. So I know these would have been friends, these would have been neighbours, these would have even been people that she would have chatted to at the bus stop walking down the road. She just had that natural ability about her that was a very warming character that people could instantly relate to. Okay, good. Yeah, you're saying good listener, so that makes sense. Fantastic. Okay, that's great that you can take that part of the information. Okay, as she starts to blend with me a little bit more, Wendy, as well, please, you would understand why she's starting to make me feel as though I have an awful lot of discomfort around my tummy area, because she's drawing me to the lower part of my tummy as she's starting to blend. Okay, and I'm asking her, why is it that she's putting that on me? Okay, and she's saying, because this was the sensation, this is how I felt before I passed. So I know that there would have been issues in or around her tummy area, as well as her legs, before she passed over into the world of spirit. And again, I'll wait patiently just to make sure that that is the correct validation that I've given you to pop up in the comments box. Otherwise, I need to understand and ask her why she's drawing me to my tummy area, please, my darling. Okay. And whilst I'm waiting for you to do that, I'm just going to take a sip of my water. Whilst that's coming through, I do need to say this to you as well, because she's talking about the present. She's talking about the reason why she's made this journey here today to talk to you, okay? And she's talking about the present time. She's talking about this present time being very, very difficult in and around. I now do want to make reference with regards to the family, because it's almost as though there has been a lot of uncertainty within the family. There's been a lot of unrest and there's been a lot of unsettlement in and around the family. Okay, unsure, but since passing, I've had health issues. So you would then understand that I then need to place this tummy issue around you, please, my darling, because I know that she was taking me down to my tummy, and I've understood it as though it was with her before she passed. But that's fine if you can take this information. I will just apologise that I've just got that part of the information incorrect, and we'll just rectify that if we can here. But there's a lot of unsettlement, there's a lot of unrest, I understand, and this wouldn't have been something that this lady would have been particularly happy about if she were back down here, but she's still not particularly happy about it while she's up there, and she's just making a reference to having to get things sorted, okay? Having to get things sorted. You would also understand as well, please, as this lady starts to come closer, okay, as she starts to come close, that she would have liked the use. I want to talk about the old-fashioned coal tar soap, the orange coal tar soap, okay, because she's putting the smell of that under my nose. So I know I need to kind of like bring that in as a memory link, whether or not that's taking you back down into your childhood days with the smell of this coal tar soap. But she's placing it under my nose and it's there for a reason. So I'm just going to give that out. And also, please, you would understand with this lady as well. Okay. you would understand with this lady as well why she's talking to me to tell you about the bananas. Okay, because she's given me bunches of bananas to give to you. Okay, so when spirit work with me with like fruits, and they work with pear soap, she loved it. Okay, when spirit work with me with fruits and vegetables, and they start placing lots of it in front of my mind's eye, I know that I need to talk to the recipient with regards to potentially not eating the correct foods. So I need an introduction within your diet, I understand from this lady, with regards to more fruit, not vegetables, because she's still placing the bananas in front of me. And if that doesn't make sense, then can you understand why she's making reference to the bananas as well, please? Okay. Okay. I'm just going to wait a couple of seconds just to see what the information is there. Oh my God, she had banana breakfast. I can't see all of that message, Richard. Banana. Okay, fine. Okay, I knew that there was a reference about bananas, but you would also understand that there is a double meaning behind this message, because I almost feel as though I have to give you a little bit of telling off and tell you that I need my diet to be controlled. Okay, so if you can understand that, that would be great. Okay, but I'll pass that part of the information on, and I'm just going to ask her if there's anything else that she would like to talk to me about before we get her gift for you and we pass her back over to the angels. Okay. Okay. Also, Wendy, you would please understand with yourself, my darling, that I have to send healing out to you down towards your ankles, please, because she's taking me to my ankles, okay, and she's making my ankles feel swollen, okay. So we will ask. Where did that come from? I'm a South Londoner. We will ask the angels to send healing to your ankles this evening, and they will know where to place that healing energy as it's needed. Okay. And I'm asking her for your gift, and what she's doing, as she's giving me your gift, you would understand, please. I think that this is more of a memory link gift as opposed to a symbolic gift, because she's placing into my hair, and I don't have an awful lot of it, as you can see, but she's placing into my hair the metal clips. Mum's ankles were very silent. Okay, I knew that there was an issue in or around the ankles. Again, it's my misinterpretation of the information. I do apologise. Okay, you would understand, please, with these hair clips. Okay, they are the old-fashioned hair clips where they're almost this type of shape, and then they have a bit that goes up in the middle, and they snap. And they make this clicking noise, and I actually just want to place them into your hair, and I actually want to take your fringe back off of your face. So I know that she's giving you these as a memory link, and this is my understanding. And again, I need to be patient and just find out if that information is correct, because if not, it's symbolic, and we need to find out why. Okay. And my ears are ringing as well, Wendy, as I'm just waiting for that part of the info to come up. My ears are ringing. My ears are ringing around you. It's almost like I've got a high-pitched frequency that's going on. A high-pitched frequency that's going on in and around my ears, please, if you can take that part of the information. And would you please also understand as well why she wants me to clear my throat a lot, this lady? Because Mum had hair set with those clips. Okay, fine. I knew that there was a reference. Again, I'm a little bit off key with this message today, so I'm going to have to get them to come a little bit closer. Okay, but you would understand, please, why I need to clear my throat as well with Mum. And I feel as though I'm being taken to the latter part of my earthly life before passing over into heaven with this lady. Okay, I'm just asking her if there's anything more that we can give you. And she's just given me, actually, you've got two presents today, so you're really fortunate. What she's doing is she's actually placing in my mind, Mum had hearing aid, okay, fine, because I've got a high-pitched frequency going on. Okay, you would also please understand why she's giving you a purple feather. Okay, I'm asking her, why is it that you're giving this lady a purple feather? As she's bringing this purple feather into my mindset more, she's turning it into a quill. Okay, so it's almost as though I need to encourage you, if you're not doing anything spiritually with regards to writing, because I do feel that you are very open to spirit. Okay, if you're not doing anything spiritually with writing, she's placing this purple quill. Okay, and she's giving me an encouragement to ask you to do more writing, or to start to do writing. Okay, but the purple is symbolic of healing, so I understand from what she's telling me is that your words will have a healing impact in what it is that you put out there. So I'm going to leave that message with you. I'm going to say thank you very much. She's a lovely lady. I could work with her all day, but I'm conscious that there is somebody else that wants to come through. So I'm going to leave her love with you and say God bless you, and thank you for working with me, my lovely. God bless. Thank you. Okay, not a problem. Right. Sorry about the interference with the noise, guys. Is that better? Yep. Good. Okay. All right. Okay. Right. Let me move on with my next message, if I may. Okay. Because I have a gentleman that's starting to blend with me, but this gentleman was only a young man when he passed over into spirit. Okay, this gentleman didn't make particularly old bones, and I know that I need to make a connection with my sibling. I know that I need to make a connection with a sister with this gentleman, because he's making me understand as he's starting to step forward that I need to talk to my sister. And Spirit have given me another name this morning, so I'm really, really grateful. Thank you, Spirit. He's talking about the name Stephen. Okay, he's talking about Stephen. Okay, so I don't know if this was his name or this is a name that relates to the person that I'm going to be communicating with the name Stephen in or around your close family unit or friends. Okay, but as this gentleman starts to step forward, okay, I'm just trying to kind of like get an age from him, and he's given me 40, but he's given me an arrow above the 40, so I understand that he would have been just above 40s, or he would have just been coming into his 40s before he passed over into spirit. As he starts to blend his energy with me, as he starts to impressioning me, Chloe Kent, this relates to me. Okay, Chloe, continue to listen, please, my lovely, just so I can get a little bit more information, just to make sure that I am with you, my darling. Okay, as he starts to blend with me and he starts to impression me, you would understand, please, that with this with this young man, that I want to say that things were quite sudden. Okay, I don't want to say as though I had something that was prolonged, like a condition that was prolonged, because generally when Spirit work with me, they'll put a condition on me and they'll place it in or around my body so that I know where I'm going to. But with this gentleman, there is this true sense of loss and this true sense of not actually understanding what was going on with me, and it was a very short space of time, so there wasn't even this tremendous build up to my passing. Would this relate and make sense, please? And you would also understand, please, that this gentleman was very smartly dressed as well, and I understand that he would have liked and he would have spent quite a bit of money on his appearance. Okay, and I don't mean his physical appearance with regards to his body, but what I want to say is the appearance with regards to his clothing and his shoes and his trainers, because he's putting price tags in front of my eyesight as he starts to blend with me. So I know that he would have liked to have had a good spend up on his clothing, because he would have really liked to have. He would have really have liked to have looked the part. Okay, I can see that you're saying this is right. Okay, so I'm going to continue. Okay, but we'll still put it out there just in case this relates to anybody else. I can see Tracy Walker saying my dad was 45 and my brother's. I can't see the rest of the message there again, Richard. Okay. It's cutting half of the message off, so I can get up to my dad was 45 and my brother's, and that's it. I can see Steve, but name wasn't what I could see. Okay, great. Okay, all right. Okay, fine. Okay, not a problem. Okay. Okay. Would you please be able to understand the evidence with regards to the clothing connection around this young gentleman, please, ladies? Because I do understand that he did spend a lot of money on clothing, okay? But as I'm saying that, okay, and he's starting to draw a little bit closer, I need to say that the person that I need to communicate with also spends quite a bit of money on their clothing as well, because he's making me understand that you also like the finer bits of clothing. And as I'm saying this with reference to the lady that needs to take this part of the message, you would understand that I'm being drawn to brand name label clothing around you as well, please. Okay. And you would also understand as well, please, why he's placing what is that? He's placing pineapple. He's saying pineapple logo like the pineapple tracksuit, okay, around a lady. He's just given me that, and he's placing that into my mindset as he's doing so. Okay, let me get a little bit more information, because there is a few of you that are saying that you can relate to this, so I need to get a little bit more info to know who it is that I'm going to here. Okay. Okay. Okay, fine. Okay. Okay. All right, Elaine, continue to listen because I'm feeling drawn more so to you. But I'm just getting him to give me a little bit more info now, just to make sure that I can validate that and you can relate to this information. Okay, because what he's talking to me about also, please, Elaine, was a mobile phone, some type of issue around a mobile phone, his mobile phone. Okay, he's making reference to his mobile phone. So you would understand, please, why he's doing that. It's almost as though I feel as though what he's putting into my mindset and he's showing me here, it's almost as though somebody had to go through my mobile phone and they had to start closing applications down, and they had to send messages out with regards to my passing because there were people that you didn't know that you had to reach out to on his behalf when he passed over into the spirit world. Does that make sense, please? Excuse me, spirit are coming close because they're making me burp a bit. And also, as well, as he's starting to chat away to me in my ear now, I'm just going to be patient just to make sure that we're on the right link with regards to the mobile phone there. But also, you would understand as he's chatting away in my ear, okay, that he would have liked his music really loud, this gentleman, because he's putting me in a car. Okay, he's putting me in the car and he's playing his music really, really loudly. Okay, he loved music. He loved his music, and he actually had a really good voice, this gentleman, as well. Because as he's actually talking about it, he's actually singing. I'm just asking him if he can put a song into my head, just so that we can get that validated. That would be really good. Okay. He's not putting a song, but what he's doing is making me understand. He's talking to me about Oasis, so I don't know if you can take the link with regards to Oasis, the group Oasis. Okay, but he's just said that to me as he's come close. Chloe understands this. What is it that you understand, please, Chloe? Just be a little bit more elaborate. Okay. Tracy can take everything apart from the pineapple. I don't want to put the pineapple in I don't want to put. Okay, Elaine, then I'm not with you, so I'm going to have to work with the other ladies. But thank you so much for working with me so far, and I hope that you can take some type of comfort from some of the message that's been put out so far this morning. I have to post on his phone on. I believe that's social media. Okay, Chloe, all right. And you would understand, I don't want to talk about pineapple like talking about pineapple, talking about eating pineapple. I want to talk about pineapple brand logo. I want to talk about a pineapple tracksuit. And he was a great singer. Okay, so let me continue to work with you then, Chloe, because it looks as though I'm actually with you. I can see Tracy Walker saying yes, yes, yes. Okay, so we're going on the double bubble here. So that's spirit. They just want to make us mediums work a little bit harder, which they've definitely been doing since we've been doing these virtual shows with Spiritual Productions. Let me tell you. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Here we go. Now I'm getting it. Here we go. All right. You would understand. You would understand, please, one of you, the taking off of my socks. Okay, he's telling me that he had smelly feet, and he would take his socks off and he would throw them at you. All right, because he's taking. Oh, that's the last thing we need on a Sunday morning. But this is the type of character that this gentleman's now bringing through. Okay, because I'm saying, please give me a bit of information that one of these ladies can relate to. Okay, and he's making me get the smell of smelly feet, and he's putting a picture of taking socks off and chucking them at somebody. Okay, so I hope that this relates to one of these ladies. Otherwise, I need to drink a bit more gin. Okay. Yes, I love Oasis, and the music always seems to play when I have this song on. Okay, all right. So I might have to work in conjunction with the pair of you. Chloe, I think he might have wore that years ago. They stunk. Okay, right. Thank you for that, I'm saying to him. Of all the things that you could give me to work with, and it's stinky feet and socks. Okay, I'm just asking him for a little bit more information, ladies. Okay, please, one of you, could you please understand why he's talking to me? He's making reference, okay, he's talking about diploma, okay, he's talking about diplomacy. So you would understand, please, that the reference he's making regarding this is making me feel and he's making me understand that one of you is actually looking into or is actually in the process of doing some type of adult learning, additional learning, okay, because I want to talk about a diplomacy, okay, and I'm just that's what he's saying to me as I'm not to me about the smell, Chloe. So you would understand, please, why he's making reference with regards to moving on and continuing with additional learnings, additional adult learnings, please. I'm sorry if you can hear that noise in the background. That's my little doggy. She's not very well at the moment, God bless her. So can we all send healing to Minnie, please? I'm just going to be patient just for a few more seconds just to see what comes up in the box there. I want to do my access to nursing. Okay, fine, okay. Because I know that there's some form of learnings, and I know that we have to be moving forward with my learnings, but I understand that it is with you. So, Tracy, I thank you very much for saying your daughter, but he does make me understand that this is associated with the person that I'm actually communicating with, please. So I have to encourage you. I have to encourage you from this gentleman to continue to remain focused, because it's almost as though he's giving me a sense that I'm feeling a little bit wobbly around the expanse of my learning, okay? It's almost that uncertainty, and I'm just feeling a little bit unsure. And what he's saying is, don't allow the fear to kick in, because you know that you actually have more than enough of the ability to do so. Okay, so please take that encouragement and those loving words and move forward with that education that you so rightly need to do so with regards to moving on in your work scenario. Okay, I'm just going to ask him, good, this is what you need, encouragement. Okay, that's fine. So I'm just going to move on and ask if we can have a gift for you, okay? And then we'll send him back off up to the angels. For some reason, what he's doing, please, and I don't know if you can understand this, he's placing kitchen or bathroom tiles in front of my eyesight at this present moment in time. Okay, I'm just asking him, why are you giving the tiles? The obvious is clearly that I want to implement change. I want to implement change in or around. I'm saying to him, what one is it, the kitchen and the bathroom? But he's talking about both the kitchen and the bathroom. So I need to implement change or changes to the kitchen and the bathroom because he's placing these tiles, okay? But also, as he's talking to me about these tiles, he's actually making me feel, he's actually placing my hand on the tile, and he's actually placing it on the coolness, on the cold texture of the tile, okay? And I'm saying to him, why is it that you're making me do that, please? And he's saying to me, because I need to send you lots of loving thoughts and energy with regards to cooling down, okay? Because as I'm touching this tile, he's making me understand that you're getting really hot-headed, okay? Really hot-headed, and I need to cool you down. I need to bring you down, okay? So I hope that this part of the message relates, and I hope that it makes sense, and I'm going to leave these tiles with you. And also, can I just say to you as well that he's placing into my mindset regarding these tiles now, okay, that I want to make sure that the base colour is white, but for some reason I want to put a splash of blue through it. So I hope that makes sense with you. I hope that there's an indication of introducing blue as a colour into one of these rooms, okay? But I don't want to go very dark because I feel as though it would close the room in. It's making me understand it would make it too small, okay? But I just need to give you the introduction of that Blue, okay? And I'm going to leave his love with you and say thank you very much for working with me, and God bless. Thank you. Okay. How are we doing for time, guys? Okay. Okay. So, Jackie, I understand that it's time for me to hand back over to you now.
It is indeed. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for having me on board once again, and God bless everybody, and thank you all for watching.
Thank you for a wonderful demonstration of your mediumship, Bill.
You're welcome,
Speak
Jackie.
with you soon.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, so we've been very lucky to have Bill this morning, and we've had a lovely service. And I do know, I actually think that Spirit are working in a way like the old party lines. People of a certain age will remember when we first had telephones, that we had party lines, and that sometimes you'd pick up the receiver and there'd be somebody else speaking on the line. I don't know if you remember that, Bill, or you're a little bit younger than me. But I think these party lines, I think the Spirit is using that opportunity. They're suddenly getting an opening with the frequency that they're on, and other people that are saying, oh, I can give that information to my daughter as well. So they're pushing themselves through on this party line concept.
Absolutely.
So, at least that means we do get to a second person or even a third person, because, people were taking so much of that specific information that I'm sure that's the way Spirit are working. But they've been working incredibly hard with all of us mediums, and I think any other medium that's watching this morning will actually agree that this new format, this new style that we've actually found to reach out to people. I know for myself and my own personal spiritual journey that it's actually made me understand and believe and trust even more so in my guides than I ever did, I ever did. Because when you do get 2 or 3 people that can take that much specifics of the information as well, you've got to move forward, and you've still got to continue to encourage them to give you something more, give me something more, give me something more, until you narrow it down to that one person that you're working with. So, yeah, most certainly. So that's obviously the way they're working. It's new party line mediumship, which is lovely. And I just want to say a few other hellos before we finish the service. And I can see that Edna's saying hello again. And so it's lovely to see Edna is still joining us for these virtual services, because I know she's a few thousand miles away. And Della, I haven't met you before, is thanking Bill, and Chantel Allen is saying Bill's amazing. There's been a few Bill that have said that, and terrific mediumship. And Jane has said, God bless to Bill, you're doing an amazing job. And as I say, that's our purpose, and so we will continue to be streaming in the way that we have. And I'll win. So we're organist at Wimbledon, so thank you for an excellent service. And Heather is saying thank you, Bill. So it's lovely to have all these comments and these feedbacks. And say it's not easy when you don't have the physical person in front of you, but it's, we're working through it. And, I just want to mention, because I've still continued to sit in a group. It's not quite a development group because we're all developed, but I know that some of the wisdom we had from guides in the last few weeks have said just how much, our pioneers at Wimbledon and our inspires are grateful for this opportunity to work, virtually, and that, they're finding it a fantastic opportunity to work with technology. So very much so that we're on that one. So I just want to share that. So it's lovely to know that, even our founder, Mr. Bush from Wimbledon, has sort of mentioned that, they used the new technologies in the Victorian time and everything that was coming through, and it was very scientific at that point. So they're very, very happy to try different experiments by working virtually. So it's nice to know that we see that. And I see Sharon is saying thank you for her message.
Oh, you're very welcome. God bless.
And saying to me for a lovely service, K.A. Reynolds. So beginning to see a few regular names that are popping up and joining with us again. So as I say, we are Wendy Payne, and the Wombles. So Wendy has come to our Hackbridge Church and our Wimbledon Church on occasion, so it's nice. And Elaine is thanking you as well. Pleasure to watch you today.
Oh, thank you.
So it's nice to see all those. So we're coming towards the end of our service, and Queenie is thanking us as well. So lovely to see all these messages. And George, it's lovely to know that you're with us, George. I was only thinking that I hadn't seen your name for a few weeks, and sending healing for your doggy.
Oh,
so
God bless.
Good.
Thank you.
So Minnie will get some healing. We've got a few specific dog healers around as well. Margaret Bartley, it's lovely to see Margaret. She hasn't always managed to get out very much. And Tina, and I know Tina's been in Spain. I'm not sure if she's managed to get back yet, but she's been joining us weekly. And it's nice to know that she's been able to, tune in from Spain. So that is lovely. So we're going to, in a moment, have our closing benediction. And then we will be able to go to the meditation, for a little bit of self-healing and relaxation for ourselves, as we're have been doing. And Chantel, it amazes me that you guys do for making us feel welcome.
Oh, you're welcome.
And we also have some adverts, so I'll close with our benediction and then talk about what's happening. And Norma, that's another lady I don't think I've seen before, is thanking Bill for a lovely service and also healing for your little dog.
Oh, thank you, everybody. It's really appreciated. God bless you all. Thank you.
All right, God bless you, Bill. So as I say, if we can join as we have our closing prayer and benediction, our Father, Mother God. And we are so thankful that we are allowed to meet with everyone. We're meeting virtually, but we know that we are all together, all joined with that enlightenment, that desire to be with like-minded people, to work as light workers, to bring positivity where there is negativity. And may the blessing of the spirit world be showered upon you like the rains of spring, fertilizing the spiritual seed planted in your mind tonight. Bring forth a harvest of spiritual good, that you may go forth in a more sincere, earnest endeavour to obtain more and greater knowledge regarding life here and hereafter. Amen. Tracy thanking you as well, Bill. And she was one of the recipients where there was two of them, very, very much taking very specific information. Okay, so once again, thank you for joining our service, and I'm going to ask Richard if he would put the adverts onto the screen so I can just talk you through what is actually going on. We had a very good meeting Friday night where we were talking about reincarnation. So some different ideas, one or two challenging questions, and a lovely reading from a book. And Ralph Steadman, a great inspirer, passed back to spirit. We're not able to be with us in our March weekend, but has given so much philosophy and inspiring Ashley. And he gave a very simplistic view of reincarnation by saying that we're all on a journey, and it's like we go back to a hostel of an evening to find out what's going on for our journey the next day, and then we see the map once and then the map disappears, and then we go on that next day to see if we can reach that journey's end. And it's to have that wonderful simplicity of life and the lessons of life was really very interesting. Okay, so Richard, are you ready with the adverts? Yes, here we are. So it's the first one is the Sunday Sofa, which is on at 2:30 this afternoon, including live readings. So you just got time to go and have something for lunch and come back then to tune in for 2:30. And I know that many of you from the Wimbledon group have been watching these, because I see all the chatter on the WhatsApp and reminding people of all the different events that have been going on. So continue to do that and continue to send it out to everyone. Spirit and the Paranormal with Sally Ann and Bob. We've guest viewers, questions and footage, and that's Sunday nights from 8 p.m. So send that out to everyone, pass it on to people. If you haven't tried it, then got a chance to go into the programme and to watch it. So that's another one. Oh, and Tuesday, It is going to be a very good, interesting night. It's a trance night. Polly Harnett and guests, and that's this coming Tuesday at 8 p.m. So very much worth tuning into, because we don't have many trance mediums, and to have higher teachings via trance is very special. So that is worth noting. As I say, next Sunday morning we're going to be live from the Wimbledon Spiritualist Church, where we'll have a very small congregation with us, and our medium will be Ashley Robinson. So that will be interesting, because it will still be streaming, so you still have an opportunity of having a reading. It's not that we're taking the chance for you not to get a reading virtually. It just means that we have a few people in our physical audience, and we've got a few more people. Alison is looking forward to the trance night, and Tina was saying her hello as well. So hopefully you'll have a look. You can go into the Spiritual Productions and just look at some of the past programs. There's a hello from Sarah as well. I don't know if I've seen your name before, Sarah. So welcome. And and Tina says she's home, so that's good. And for those of you that don't know, she's finally managed to get back about 3 months after she'd originally gone out to Spain. So that's good to know that you're there for everyone. So it's been wonderful being with you all again this week. So if we can get comfortable, make sure that we're ready to have just a little bit of meditation for ourselves, a little bit of self-healing, a chance for relaxation. So make sure you're sitting comfortably, and then just take a few deep breaths, and inhale the good and exhale that which no longer serves you. And let's just move our neck and just relax our tensions as we go into the harmony. And Richard, thank you again for working with us. This is our 15th week, so I was talking to Richard before with Bill, so it's amazing to think that this is our 15th service. So Richard will start to run the meditation. Yes, please. Right, and Richard has said we have reached over 30,000 people since going live from those 15 weeks. So hopefully some people will have found us for the very first time, and some people may even visit us at Wimbledon. But say over the next few weeks we will be just taking it by ticket allocation only, so that we know and can control the numbers of those that are coming with us. And then hopefully, when all restrictions are lifted, our church can hold over 200. But at this moment, we're down to not having more than 30. But it's lovely to see Kim. Kim's on the coast. And Wendy saying hello to us both. So it's lovely to see all your names. And hopefully, we'll see you again at next week's service. So anyway, let's go back now to the beginning of that little meditation. And Richard will now start to put up the pictures that we can drift into, that we have been for the last few weeks. And that's my daughter Rachel Davis is now saying hello. So a quick hello to Rachel before we start to stream these lovely meditative pictures. And just take yourself, just close. Just then see the wonderful pictures, looking at the landscape, looking at being in harmony with nature. See the clouds moving fast over the horizon, the beautiful sun on the horizon, the calmness of the ocean, no waves, just complete calmness. And as we see that, we know that our journey is not too rough at this moment. And then we start to see the waves coming in. And it's not stormy water, it really is just the waves coming in. And that tells us we need to go with the flow of the waves, the flow, how the moon controls the waves. And if something doesn't feel right, then it's not meant to be. It symbolises us being in harmony with nature and going with the flow of those waves, because if we're not in flow, If we're trying to move against the waves, things are just not working and they're not meant to be. And when that's right, we know that it's so calm, and we can suddenly see the reflection of the sun on a very still river with beautiful woodland each side. And we can see the reflection of the sun as it goes down. This is the end of a day. Clouds moving fast above us. Our life moving forward. Seeing the wonderful reflection of all of the trees and the forests as they reflect on the water's edge. Now roaring higher into the sky as we pass all the forests. Looking at the calmness of the sea. Looking at the hills on the horizon. As we just feel in harmony with nature, with the air. Feel the breeze on our face. See the sunshine. See the clouds that are there in the sky. Moving up above the clouds, over the mountains, beautiful deep green. Just be in harmony with nature. Let's feel that peace and tranquility. So we can just see the tops of the mountains. Know that we have climbed those mountains over the last few weeks. Look to the stillness of the water with the sun that's going down, the mist above the water. See the beautiful shadows of the individual trees. Just feel that serenity, peace and harmony. And then we're closer to the woods, and they're all in shadow, but we see the wonderful sun rays coming through. We see the beautiful robin perched on a branch. See the white feather there on the grass, the sign of an angel around us. It's just moving with the breeze of the air, its stillness. Feeling then the sunshine again as we go across a meadow of wonderful red flowers. Not sure if they're poppies, but beautiful red flowers. And the peace that is there in this poppy field. So we just slowly scour these flowers, gently moving in the breeze, being at one with nature. Taking a deep breath as we soar across a meadow of tall grasses into some beautiful woodland. The sun coming through the trees. Feel the sun rays that are there bouncing off of the grass, bouncing on the leaves. Smell the fragrance of the leaves, of the grasses, of the trees. Watch the beautiful yellow flower open up its many petals as we open up to spirit, and then close when we need to. Now we're going through a night sky with just that hint of seeing the sun fall behind the horizon. We're looking through the sun's rays through the leaves on the tree, watching the leaves as they just gently blow, just in harmony. See the beautiful dragonfly on the tip of a grass. Just part of nature. Look at his beautiful see-through wings. Beautiful perfection from the Creator, from the great architect of the universe. Now we're roaring high in the sky again, looking down at woodland that's dusted in snow, looking out to the mountains, looking up at the good weather clouds in the blue sky as the clouds just drift by. No sign of angry clouds, just beautiful, soft, fast-moving clouds. We're up at the top of the mountain. You can see the snow on the tops, and on the valley below, looking at the woodland, watching the white clouds on their journey across the world. Know that we've climbed down our own mountain. Feel the breeze that the bushes move by, the breeze of the clouds. As the sun is reflecting through the clouds, giving us different shadows of light. We know that there is sun somewhere, because we wouldn't have light without the sun. But sometimes our sky is just full of cloud and we're just not sure where we're going. But you look for those tiny bits of blue that just pass by as a glimmer, and know that there is blue sky just above that cloud. And then look, as we're soaring above the mountain peaks, look at the blue poking out behind the cloud. These clouds are perfectly still, perfectly in harmony. You can see the valley below, see the grass on the mountains, the beautiful peaks, untouched for millennium, thousands upon thousands of years. And we're looking now at the water again, with the wonderful horizon in the background. Know that the sun is going down. Looking at the gentle waves just rolling in. So during the week, roll with those waves. Go in the direction of those waves. Know that Spirit are with you, and they will help you through the bigger waves. As these gently just roll. And we're looking now at how calm the water is. And this expanse of water is covered with snow. So nobody has ever walked on that snow. It's the newness of our fresh beginning. Each day is either day one or one day. Make it day one for you. As you look at this sun slowly going onto the horizon, with the glow that it leaves on the water's edge, how it makes the sky a burnt orange colour, darker at the tips of the water, as we see that sun slowly descending. And I say goodbye and God bless to all of you, to Bill and Richard for making this happen, until we see you all again next week. God bless and keep you safe. Amen.